Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Kyla and I am oh so excited to have you join us today. Today, our special guest is Miss Sienna West and we are going to be talking about names. Now I've done a video like this before as to how I've chosen my doll names, but this one is going to be about the list of names I have. So I have a list in my Google Docs of names that I like, whether it be for my dolls, my characters, because if you did not know, I am a writer. So anytime I hear or come across a name that I really like and I would think I'd potentially use someday, I write it on the list. And then when I get a new doll or if I need to think of a character, I go to the list and look at the names I have, and if the names that I have there, I like them, but they're not fitting that particular doll, I go back to Google and I do a lot of baby name searching. So you just type in baby names and it gives you endless possibilities. And I'm not really one to, I know a lot of people love name meanings. That doesn't matter to me as much as just how the name is, how it sounds and how it's pronounced. And I'm a big fan of unique spellings and longer, old-fashioned, more sophisticated sounding names. Now, that is definitely not to say that these names are going to be all of those things. Those are just, my favorite types of names. I'm just gonna pull a couple names here in this video and tell you guys, kind of how I came up with them or what their significant connection is to me. If you guys like this, I can definitely do more videos like this in the future and show you guys how my list has changed and new names that I've come up with or names that I've used. And a couple of these names I've actually considered for Sienna right here. And if ones I share today are ones that I had for her or any of the other girls, but I ended up naming them something else, I will definitely tell you who was almost who. So these are not in any particular order, they're just all at random. All right, so let's get started. The first name I seriously want to use is Charlotte. And Charlotte can be shortened to Charlie or Lottie. I've seen people use both. Charlotte is the name of one of my fictional characters in one of my writing verses, and the appearance for that particular character kind of resembles Sienna here, and Sienna was not almost Charlotte, surprisingly, but I think Charlotte is definitely a name I will end up using in the future. I'm just not sure who Charlotte will be. The next name is Peyton, and Sienna here was definitely 99% almost Peyton. And Peyton, the only significance I have to that name is from One Tree Hill, and Peyton Sawyer is my favorite character. So that's really the only significance. I love that name. I think it's beautiful. It's really, really just, I love that name a lot, and there will definitely be a Peyton in my collection. I can guarantee that. The next name is Faith. And Faith is my favorite out of like the hope, destiny, joy, and faith foursome. I prefer Faith over all of them. They're all really beautiful names, but I love Faith. I've not considered that for any of my girls yet, but it is definitely a contender. Next up, we have Riley. And Riley, I have not decided what spelling of this I like the best. It is a unisex name, and those are not my favorite, but it's not to say I don't like any of them or haven't used them. And Natalie was actually going to be Riley when I got her, and then for the first couple days I was like, I think I'm gonna name her Riley, and then something in me changed and she became Natalie K. So Riley, that will get used eventually. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite names. The next name we have is another unisex name, and that is Hayden. And Hayden, I don't really have any connection to that at all. Like, there's no reason behind why I like it. I just do. I don't think I almost named anyone Hayden. I'm not really sure. At this point, I can't remember all of them, but it is a name that I really, really like. I've used it a lot for, I have a sim, one of my favorite sims of all time, in The Sims 3. Her name was Hayden, and she had big blue eyes and fiery red hair. So not kind of like Penelope, but not really. So honestly, I think if I ever get a doll and name her Hayden, she will probably look like the sim. So okay, next up we have Pippa, and Pippa is the shorter version of Philippa, and I like that name, but I think Pippa is a lot cuter. And no, it's not Peppa like the kids TV show, but it's just Pippa, and I think it's really, really adorable. It was slightly something I was considering for Sienna, but not, you know, I wasn't like, that's one of the top contenders, but I did consider it for a brief second. Next up, we have Athena, and this is a name I have used and then immediately took it back. So Penelope was named Athena for about an hour, and I posted it on Instagram, and I was like, this is her full name, and then I was like, no, this is not right. So I took it down, and then I don't know, it is one of my favorite Greek names. No, it is my favorite Greek name of all time. I love it so much. I've used it a lot for Sims. I do have a character named Athena. I lied. I do have a character I created, and her name is Athena, so that's a name I'm gonna use. I'm not really sure on who yet, whether it'll be a custom or a truly me. Like with a lot of these, I'm not sure who I'm naming what, but it is one of the names I do think of a lot when I think of new names. It's Athena. So that is why I do not post their names until I'm 100% decided on them, because of Penelope's whole naming fiasco. Next up on the list is the name Nora. And the first time I heard this was from One Life to Live. Nora Buchanan is a little Spitfire lawyer, and she's just so funny, and you just don't want to mess with her. So I'd really like to have a doll named Nora with that personality. I think it's a really, really beautiful name. Next is Summer, and we have another soap opera name here because Summer Newman from The Young and the Restless is one of my favorite characters of all time. Her actress, Hunter King, is phenomenal. So I love the name Summer. It's really, really pretty. I have not decided if I'm going to use it for a first name or a last name yet, so I could do Summers with an S at the end. I'm not really sure yet, but it is on the list for either or. Next up is the name Anastasia, and this is a name I'm actually considering for a doll that is on her way to me. I won't say who or where she's from. She might actually be here when this video goes up, but it is the name I'm considering, and it would be after Anastasia Romanov, the Russian princess. And the first time I heard it was obviously from the Disney adaptation of the Anastasia story, but we did a lot of research on the Romanov family when I was in school, so I'm a big fan of Miss Anastasia, and so that is where that comes from. The next name is Nevaeh, and Angel was actually almost Nevaeh. Angel's naming process has like a huge backstory as to why she should have been Nevaeh, but I went with Angel, but that's definitely not for this video. If you want to know more about Angel's life, let me know, because that girl, Angel, is very crazy. Her personality is really fun. But anyway, Angel was almost Nevaeh. It is Heaven spelled backwards, so it's a very beautiful name. I do like it. If I ever do use it, it's going to have to be for a very, very special doll. Not to say that they're not all special, but I need to have like a very deep connection, like I have with Penelope. But Angel, or not Angel, oh my goodness, Nevaeh is definitely one of my favorite names. Next up we have Ariel, and the only explanation for this is she's my favorite Disney princess, and I'm hoping to save that name for an Ariel custom one day. The next name we have is Colette, and I don't want to say this name is in honor of this particular character because the character is not like the best, but she is from Sons of Anarchy, and I do have a couple other dolls that have names from that particular actress's other characters, so it was only fitting to add Colette to my list because I do like that name a lot. Next up we have Bambi, and this is after the cute, adorable Disney deer, of course, but I've seen people use it for girl names as well, and I think it's really, really cute, and it was a name I was considering, again, for Sienna, because she had about 800 names before I decided on the one she has now. The next name I have is Opal, and it's not one you hear a lot. The first time I heard it was from All My Children, and yes, I do get a lot of names from my soap operas. I'm not even ashamed of that, but if I use that name, it would not be after the Opal from that show, but I think it's a really cute, short, and simple name. The next name we have is Scarlet, and obviously it's very, very similar to Charlotte. I honestly don't have any character or personal connection to the name. I just think it's really beautiful. The next name on the list is Claire, and Claire is a name that I've loved ever since I was really little. I had a turtle, this is no lie, I had a turtle and I named it Clara after the Nutcracker Barbie, and I've just liked the name Claire or any variation of it for a really long time. I considered it for my Mia because, as you know, her name is now Amelia, and I was just gonna name her Claire and then change her last name, but she is Amelia now, so that's the fun little backstory on the name Claire. The next name we have is Mercedes, and no, I literally don't like cars. That's definitely my dad's forte, but I think the name Mercedes is really cool. You could change her name or give her the nickname of Sadie, which was really pretty, so I love the name Mercedes. It's really unique. Next, I have the name Ava, which was considered again for Sienna. Ava is after my favorite General Hospital character, Ava Jerome. What a legend. But I've always liked the name Ava. So Ava, it's a really cool name. I really like it a lot. Next up we have Bryn, and I've never actually used this name before at all. It's very unique, and I don't know a lot of people. I've never met someone with this name, so it's a very unique name, and I'm a big fan of unique names. The next name is Olivia, and this is very, very common, and my inspiration for this comes from Law & Order Special Victims Unit, and Marnie, my Joss Kendrick, was almost Olivia. And I do not regret not naming her that, but she was definitely almost Olivia for like a good couple of weeks before I even settled on her actual name. The next name we have is Reagan, and it is a name I considered for Natalie, but I ended up going with something else, obviously. And another name I considered for Natalie was Kendall. And no, Kendall is not, like, it's not inspired by anything Kardashian or Jenner related. I just like the name Kendall. And next up we have Erin, and I've always liked this name. It is another unisex name, kind of like Kendall actually, but I just really like the name and I think it's really cute. Next up we have the unique name Taryn, and I'm a big fan of actress Taryn Manning. She does a phenomenal job in every role she plays, and so that was the first time I ever heard the name and I was like, that's really pretty, so I've always liked the name Taryn. Next up we have the name Tinley, and I heard this name. My mother was watching The Bachelor a really long time ago, and I heard this name and I wanted to use it for something ever since. I just haven't yet, so that's the first time I've heard that name. Next up we have Violet, and Lucy, my Nenea doll, was almost Violet. That's the name my best friend suggested for her, and I almost went with it, but Lucy just kind of fit her better, so I chose Lucy over Violet. Next up we have Francesca, and Francesca comes from Wentworth, and Frankie Doyle is probably my favorite Wentworth character. I go back and forth, but she is such an icon, and her actual full name is Francesca, so I really like that name, and yeah, that's where that one came from. And the last set of names for this video, the first one is Katya, and it is a Russian name, and I can't remember the first time I've heard this, but I think it's a really beautiful and unique name, so I like it a lot. The next one is Primrose, and it's not a name that I would really ever consider, but for some reason I really like it a lot. And Sienna, yes, you guessed it, was almost Primrose, but she is not. So yes, Primrose is a name that I really, really like. It's very, very beautiful and unique. And the last name, I actually know what doll I'm saving this for. I just don't have her yet, but it is Diamond. And I actually know a person named Diamond, and she was a very, very sweet girl. So that's the first time I ever heard someone named Diamond. I think it's really, really unique and beautiful. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, let me know, and I will continue to share my updated list with you guys in the future. If you have not already, give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and tap that really cool notification bell so you can know the exact moment I post a new video. Have a blessed day, and I will speak to you soon. Bye everybody!